Have you ever seen a ghost? This is Have You Ever Seen a Ghost? This is our podcast, and by our, I mean mine. I'm Dasia, and my friend Tara is co-hosting here with me. Tara, how are you?
I don't know, I'm average, I guess.
Yeah.
Normal.
It's a loaded question.
I got a really cool treasure in the mail today, though.
What'd you get?
So I got a piece of trench art. So basically it is stuff that was made by soldiers, prisoners of war, etc. in World War One.
That kind of trench.
And World War Two. So I got a really beautiful vase, which is made out of an old mortar shell.
That's really cool.
And yeah, I wish I could show it to you.
You could see it on our Instagram. We now have an Instagram.
Yes, I'll put it on the Instagram.
But we will put it in the show notes so you guys can find us there. And one thing that I'm really excited about for the Instagram account is the episode art options that Tara has been creating for us are...
Yeah. Can I take you through some of my work maybe that I've been doing on that?
I don't use this term lightly, but they are buck wild.
Kind of running on the theme of this podcast and the voice notes being a little deep fried.
Yeah.
We really wanted to bring kind of an element of that
A chaos.
to the art as well, a chaos element. And so I found a wonderful little program, which I can't remember the name of now, but...
Because they're not paying us. We don't have to say their brand
They're
name.
not paying us, so
Yeah.
when they do...
An anonymous AI brand.
An anonymous AI brand art making website. And I've been plugging in some of the hot takes that we had from the last episode and kind of seeing what the AI modeling software came up with, and
I'm very afraid.
I'm very happy with what turned out, especially from the prompt, the worst animorph.
Yeah, that one was powerful.
Yeah, that one was very powerful, and also the haunting is in the booze you don't say. I think quite a challenging prompt for an AI.
Yeah.
But I feel like what came out was metaphysical, it was original, it was deep, it really makes you think. Hashtag read that again.
Yep.
You know. So I really hope that you guys will enjoy that.
I'm so excited for other people to see these images because I cannot bear this burden alone. Yeah, the aura is threatening and the content...
The aura is threatening,
needs
the
to be
content
out
is
there.
good. Yeah.
So please follow us on Instagram. Sorry, my inner... We also need to say, like, who the fuck we are. Because in the first episode, I have zero context. I just, like, come out of the ether and I'm like, hi. And then I say that you are, like, a paranormal expert. And then we have zero other context.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering why I'm plugging the Instagram so hard, it's because I would define myself as a recovering marketer and aspiring ghostbuster. And Tara, how would you describe your brand?
I would say recovering cultural worker,
Oh, yeah.
aspiring antiques dealer,
Yes.
and aspiring ghostbuster as well. Yeah.
I love it. The antiques that you get. I cannot stop thinking about that ashtray bug thing that you showed me.
That's good.
I need it. Have you sold it yet?
I have not sold it yet. I'm still cleaning it up.
Because it wants to be with me.
It wants to be with Dasia. So we will probably at some point put a link to my antique site as well, so you can see some of the good haunted objects that come through there.
Yes.
You know, Yusra had an interesting point actually, because I asked her to ask a couple of people at work if they'd ever seen a ghost. She made perhaps a good point, and she said that asking people, have you seen a ghost, is like pretty hectic to come into a conversation with that. It's very...
I love that you needed her to point this out for you.
Yeah, and she said that she did ask people at work, and she said that based on that experience, she felt like we should first clarify that there isn't a ghost in the room now. And that's not why we're asking if you've ever seen a ghost? So it's not
Have you
like,
ever seen a
have you
ghost?
ever seen a ghost? Would you like to?
Turn around, bitch.
Turn around, bitch. So maybe just something to bear in mind, like for all of the field reporters out there going forward.
Yes, that is great. That is a great piece that needs to go in the handbook. I'm thinking maybe we make a little pocket-sized zine of for our field reporters.
Kind of like a toolkit, so to speak.
Yeah.
I did also really get very close to asking my dentist if he'd ever seen a ghost, but he was pretty sassy about my sort of like level of flossing. I didn't really feel like comfortable in that space.
No, it wasn't a safe space.
It wasn't a safe space.
Because he could have been like, oh, your tooth is about to be a ghost because you're not flossing.
You know, and I just, like, I didn't really want to set myself up like that.
You were going to set yourself up for that.
I was going to set myself up, and I just didn't really want to go there. I was already feeling demoralized.
Good foresight.
Yeah. I feel like dentists, they have that little mirror, right? So it's kind of like you're sort of doubling your chances of catching the ghost that is lurking behind every one of us.
That's true.
If you use that tiny mirror.
And a lot of people see mirrors as portals.
Right.
Yeah, and teeth die, so maybe...
So what you're saying is a dentist could maybe make a ghost come in your mouth? Sorry.
I'm not going to leave that in a podcast, Tara. We're trying to have broad appeal. God damn it. Listen. So I have also been doing my paranormal investigations.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. You look at you. You're so
I'm not
pleased with
sorry.
yourself as well.
I'm not
You're
sorry.
so chuffed
I'm
with
sorry.
yourself.
I'm not sorry.
The joke didn't even make sense.
I'm not sorry.
So I also have been asking people, have you ever seen a ghost? Including my friend Robin. I love her so much. Yeah, so she has a little paranormal experience to share with us. Now, I think that this is going to be an interesting one because, first of all, she asked me if I was being haunted, which I think circles back to we do have to give a little more context to this question.
We need to give some context, yeah.
Is there a ghost here right now tends to be the next comment.
Yeah.
But she mentioned that she was once part of a, what she described as a preteen mass hysteria where all the girls on a school trip became convinced that they were being haunted.
Amazing.
I think that sounds like something we can investigate. So do you want to hear Robin's voice note?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, here goes the tale of imagined paranormal activity. It would have been about 1995. I think I was in grade 4, Standard 2 back then, as it was called. So let's say there were about 55 of us, and off we go to Wagon Drift Dam for a week on our school trip. Like all the seniors went on a little school trip. I mean, the seniors as in like grade 4 and up. And I can't remember all the things that we had to do while we were there, but I do remember we went to Bungee Toy Factory the one day. And this is literally like you go there on Monday and you come back to school on Friday afternoon. I remember a lot of playing kissing catches and various games because I was hugely in love with Anthony Badenhorst and the feelings were kind of mutual. So it was very exciting. He was my first kiss. And then as the week progressed, in that way that like children, I guess especially girls, not that I'm saying boys can't, but in this stage it was specifically the girls, suddenly got obsessed. And we were from quite like a puritanical, very conservative little town, village basically, up in northern KZN. And I vaguely remember this sort of hysteria and obsession with the devil and being like haunted and evil spirits. And we all slept in dormitories all together for the week. This obsession with evil spirits, and the devil started mounting. And I don't even think anyone was playing like glassy or light as a feather, stiff as a board, any of those, or like trying to call on evil spirits. It was just the hormonal gathering and mounting of that's a terrible word, of young people being together and feeding off each other's energy. And as the week progressed, girls would claim to have seen lip ice roll off their side table and no one was around to do any to have pushed it, or scratch marks extending down the mirror before their very eyes. And this sort of grew and grew and grew. And the most ridiculous thing that I remember is the fact that someone then said, because we'd all gone to Bungee Toy Factory and like bought a teddy bear of some type. Oh God, sorry, I'm watching my cat vomit. Sissy. Okay, I'm just gonna deal with that.
I think you have to leave that in.
Okay, so that was part 1. Should we dive straight into part 2, or do we have notes?
Let's go into part.
Okay, let's go
into part 2.
Part 2.
Apologies, I'm back from that little feline situation. Like when I think back, it's obviously, God, I would have been about 10 or 11, so it's like 26 years ago. And I just remember the whole week crackling with this mix of like incredibly childish emotion, but at the same time being aware of like our impending, well, us moving towards adolescence and teenagehood with not even immaturity, just like 100% childishness. One of the things was, I think, crying because Antoine didn't say good morning to me, I don't know, early and like swiftly enough, and me being upset about it, and like friends being sent to talk to his friends about it, that kind of thing. So yeah, just I guess like 4 teachers trying to manage what was invariably going to be some sort of crisis, and it revealed itself in fear of the paranormal. And so in the Afrikaans girls' dormitory, the alleged paranormal ghostly sightings or evil spirits, whatever you want to call them, the evidence was mounting, although, God, yeah, a lip ice falling off a tabletop was peak evidence. And then we went to the Bungee Toy Factory, as I was saying, and we all had our toys. So this is also like the age where we really want to buy like a stuffed gorilla. And then someone saying that Bungee Toy Factory stood for Beware Thursday, Friday. And as Thursday and Friday approached, it reached all high panic stations. And then I don't really remember how it culminated, sort of what the climax of the whole situation was. But I remember the Afrikaans teacher, Meneer Els or Meneer Meyer, I can't remember, and Miss Lowe being utterly furious and having to haul us all into the great dining room to chastise us about our ridiculous belief in the devil. All round shaming. And I'm pretty sure by Friday afternoon, nothing had happened, of course, because we were not being haunted. And we had been roundly chastised and shamed. There's no way we got away without having to have assembly about it, especially because I think what sparked all the drama was that the grade 5s, I'm sure, had told us that when they had stayed at this place, there had been spirits there and that all these bad things happened after going to the Bungee Toy Factory. Actually, yes, now I remember, because I'm sure someone, like, people started getting hurt, but because we were 10, 11 years old, running around trying to kiss each other and, I don't know, play stuck in the mud and stuff. So obviously people were getting hurt. And I think that was also what was like, oh, this is what's happening. They said beware Thursday, Friday, and now Eleni has fallen and sprained her ankle, and I don't know, Terry Staples fell backwards off a chair. Yeah, so they definitely would have been an assembly. The bus journey home was a humbled group that bussed back home to be met by our parents in the school parking lot. Yeah, I can't even remember what toy I got or for what reasons I was upset with Anthony Badenhorst. But it was an emotionally fraught 5 days in the Natal Midlands. Anyway, that is my story. And just to, my parting words are the cat is 100% fine. It was what can only be described as a spite bomb.
I needed to include that last bit about the spite vom.
God, wow, what a great story. I love the story for so many reasons.
Tell me why you love the story.
Damn, I mean, like, those poor teachers, man.
Oh my God.
Like, those poor teachers. I love the will they, won't they with her and Anthony Badenhorst. Where is he now?
Where is he now?
Are they still in touch? Yeah, I feel like camp is such a rich sort of terrain for ghost stories to form.
I really felt there was nothing that takes me back to being an 11-year-old in South Africa in the 90s than a ghost story starting with the lip ice moved by itself.
Yeah, the lip ice moved by itself. Damn, I was right back there. Like
I was
right
just transported.
Just what an iconic image.
Absolutely iconic.
But yeah, it's just such a great telling of a story as well. I love the way that she spoke about this kind of like crackling of sort of preteen kind of angst and like this sort of foreboding. You can really feel it, like the foreboding of puberty.
Absolutely.
I love it. It's kind of interesting when I was doing some research about this and this whole kind of mass hysteria thing. This is kind of like prime time in terms of age for mass hysteria events to happen. Is that kind of like preteen age?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is something about the atmosphere being charged that sort of makes things possible. I don't know.
There is. Like, I was also thinking about it, like the idea of puberty as the great unknown, like the unknown quantity that is so unfathomable until you're on the other side of it, that is basically a supernatural phenomenon that happens to every human.
Yeah. Yes. My God, totally.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a great way to think about it, because I don't know, I could feel it so clearly.
Yeah.
And so powerfully.
Rob's is a great storyteller. Yeah.
Yeah.
She really brought us all along there with her in the Natal Midlands.
Natal Midlands.
Like,
oh man.
Yeah, the emotional, like the background love story.
The love story. I mean, I can tell you, like,
Badenhorst.
the people in the creepypasta test kitchen could learn a thing or two about storytelling.
I tell you.
From Rob's. What part I liked was the Beware Thursday Friday
Oh
thing.
my God, that is also like such a endearingly janky attempt at myth.
Janky, chain letter ass, like,
Absolutely.
like,
Be like, if you don't send this to 5 friends, you'll die. Beware Thursday
you'll die.
Friday.
It's Beware Thursday Friday. It's so good.
It's so good.
What I also, if we can just like put on our creepypasta hats for a minute, I was kind of hoping that there would be, you know, like a haunted toy, like a Chekhov's stuffed gorilla.
Chekhov's gorilla.
Chekhov's gorilla.
Yes. Oh my God, the Chekhov's gorilla is throbbing throughout this entire story.
I mean, otherwise, great story. What do you think of that? Like,
I've been thinking about it. I got this story a few days ago, and this whole conversation very, very much started with, of course, I've never seen a ghost, but this was my silly paranormal experience. And, you know, she drops in like, oh, like, obviously nothing happened because we weren't being haunted, because ghosts aren't real, obviously. And I feel like that is so much down to perspective, because, like, the facts that she laid out about how all of these kids' perceptions were like, suddenly when someone twists their ankle, it's because of the spirits. And when someone drops a lip ice, then it's because of the spirits.
Yeah.
I feel like someone else who was on that same trip tells that same story and was like, and we got out of there just in time.
Totally. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Somebody will never go to the Bungie toy factory ever again.
Yeah, I also love on the second part of the story where she's like, I don't really remember how it ends. And in my heart, I was like, it ended with a school assembly. Another deeply South African like moment. I don't know. Maybe it's not that South African. But yeah, so it all ends in, being shamefully rationalized by the adults in your life.
Yeah.
And it really reminded me of Lord of the Flies, which I very recently read for the first time because I didn't do my homework.
Weren't you an English major?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, I just wanted to circle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking in there.
I heard it was good, so I didn't want to spoil it for myself as a set text. So yeah, it is like as soon as you get into this strange situation, your mind just, like, rationality is such a thin, fragile scaffolding that just immediately falls apart as soon as someone's like, hey, do you think there's a ghost here?
Oh my god. What a fucking, deep cut. And they said our literary degrees would never amount to anything. But here we are.
Look at us now.
That is such a fucking good reference, actually, Dasia.
Thank you.
Damn.
See, aren't you glad I didn't read that 20 years ago when everyone else did?
It's exactly the same fucking energy,
Yeah. And then, right at the end, it's like, oh no, oh, here's an adult. Oh wait, we're all being really stupid.
Oh no, we killed a kid.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. Oh man, that's a good book. If anyone's been avoiding it because it's a set text, it's actually a really good book. And I'm sad that it's set text because people are forced to read it, and I genuinely enjoyed it.
Yeah. God, it's so good. I don't know. It gave me such a good feeling to remember this time.
Specific time in our lives.
Yeah. Just thinking back on playing things like Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. I don't know if you ever played that.
Oh, surprise black cat behind me.
It sounds a lot like... Whoa, cryptid alert. Okay.
It's my little Kiki on the hunt for spiders. That fucking giant spider from the last episode never showed its face again, hey?
Really?
Yeah. I'll see you in 9 months. 10 million spider babies.
Oh my god. Please, we can't joke about that. That's a really sensitive thing for me because one time I
had a spider baby.
Saw a really big spider and I tried to hit it and it turned out it was actually just carrying all of its babies on its back. And then when I hit it, it turns into millions and millions of little baby spiders that ran all over the floor. And it was, wow.
Yeah, that's happened to me as well. Would you still love me if I was 1,000 baby spiders?
You always.
Aw.
So I did a little bit of research, see what I could kind of put together about a couple of offline ghost stories. Even though Rob's story happened, 26 years ago, I found a couple of hot off the presses ghost stories for us.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking 2022.
Oh, snap.
The place, Plettenberg Bay, Pakamasani Primary School. The incident... A short, granny-like figure with dreadlocks appeared to the children in their classroom and proceeded to attack them, slapping them ruthlessly, relentlessly, until they threw salt at her and she disappeared. Subsequently, the parents came to pick the kids up from school, and school classes were cancelled for the day. The mayor of Plettenberg Bay actually got involved in this case as well.
Oh, snap.
That's how sort of big this was. Kind of came in to check everything out. He said that a thorough investigation would be concluded and that a prayer meeting would be held at the school the following day to clear the air a little bit. A couple of months before this, in January, there was actually another haunted school case.
Okay.
Now, this one happened in Kruandal in Northwest. This one was actually kind of motivated by the parents who came in to remove their children from the school, saying that it was haunted. And this was apparently after a parent fainted when they entered the school. And I quote from a bystander at the scene, "One could tell that there is an evil energy, everyone could feel it, and even if you guys came to that school, you will pick up demonic vibes. That school is haunted. So that's a direct quote.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
So is there like a rise in these school hauntings in primary schools?
I mean, it could be. One of the things that I did read about this whole mass hysteria thing is that it seems to happen when kids are under kind of particular stress around exam time, perhaps. One could attribute this to COVID. I believe in the case of the Northwest school, the school had been vandalized over the school holidays, so probably some stress around that. Or perhaps further evidence of ghost activity.
Could be.
What do you make about the granny ghost with dreadlocks?
Listen, so from the account, I do wonder if it was just a granny.
Again, was it just a guy? Like...
Ghost or guy. That's the game we play when we do these paranormal investigations. Ghost or gran.
Ghost or gran.
Ghost or gran.
So perhaps the prankster gran from the creepypasta story.
Oh, it's all connected.
On the loose, it's all connected.
I want to know what those kids were up to. And also, who has salt in their back pocket?
I frequently do. I actually...
You do. This could be anything, folks.
So I have here a packet of salt.
Yes.
Blessed salt.
Oh, blessed salt.
This was
pretty good.
This was given to me for protection by an intern at my old workplace.
Ah.
Yeah, I no longer work there, so
it worked.
It's really either it worked or it didn't. I mean,
wait, no, not that it worked on you like you were the demon.
It's handy should I need it.
Yeah, and you've got a lot. I mean, you're protected for that's like might be a lifetime supply.
If that ghost granny wants to throw hands, she better watch out.
She does not know what she's in for. That's why she picks on little kids.
She doesn't know what she's in for.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick on someone your own size.
Yeah, pick on someone your own size who is an adult but still apparently quite small.
Yeah.
This is the thing. So obviously the whole class said that they saw her.
Yeah.
Which yet again kind of brings to mind, like, it stresses me out because when it's one person, it's easy to say that it's an unreliable narrator. Maybe they're lying, maybe they're,
right.
Maybe they were hallucinating or stressed or dreaming or something.
Yeah.
But there seems to be like kind of critical mass of if it's 3 people saw the same creepy ghost, I would believe them more than if 30 people saw a creepy ghost.
Interesting.
Because if 29 other people saw a creepy ghost, I would probably also say I saw it. I don't want to be different.
No, Dasia, I think what you're describing here, I believe, is a kind of a ghost bystander effect.
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay. Man, you don't want to be the person who didn't get slapped by the ghost.
Exactly.
I was doing a little bit of clear out this week, and I disturbed a matchbox, and when I opened it up, there was a bunch of salt inside, which I'd taken around so that I had my fancy salt with me.
That is so you. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah. You're on another level. Clearly we need to, I need to now get a protection tattoo, and I need to have, a salt amulet. God, I have so much on my shopping list now. I did actually have a thought about your protection tattoo. Mm-hmm. You spoke about getting it on your chest. Yeah. But the spooky experiences that you described were something behind you. Oh, so that's a good point. Kind of factored that in? Yeah, it has to be like a protection sandwich. A protection sandwich. You're thinking front and back? Like the bad mugs you get where the front of the mug is like a cute little cat face and the back of the mug is a little cat butt. Exactly. Yeah. But make it sacred. But make it sacred. It's not a butt, it's a red chakra. What about you do almost that exact image where the front's the cat and then the back is like the butt. Little butt. But the asshole is like a mandala. Very sacred, very spiritual. To the tattoo parlor. To the tattoo parlor. I have a third story here for us tonight. Okay, you're chock full of spooky schools. So this is a quick story about Wilberforce, the pranking ghost of St. Peter's Hostel. Oh my god. At Brebner High School in Bloemfontein. Oh my god. The pranking ghost. So apparently he really liked to hang out in the sick bay of the school. Ooh. And one time there was a boy in there who
So he had a broken leg.
Oh, the kid had a broken leg, not the ghost.
The kid had a broken leg.
Yes.
And so he's laying there, he's just lying down, and this ghost comes through the wall and scares the shit out of him. So much so that he actually jumped out of a window and ran all the way back to his dorm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Did he break his other leg?
It's not specified.
He was willing to take the risk.
He was willing to take the risk. So just tell me, how does this take you? He would spook people by ruffling or pulling their hair, throwing water at them, or tripping them in the corridors. And hiding their possessions.
All things that actual children would never do.
All things, I don't know. I feel like maybe we need another category, which was it a ghost or was it a bully?
Oh, ghost or bully. Now, I'm not discounting any of these experiences, but if I didn't study for that exam and knew that I would get in trouble for calling in a bomb threat, hey, did anyone else see that ghost over there? Might be the play.
Ghost looks pretty good right about now. Ghost looks pretty good right about now.
You know, if you have like a little bit of social clout, like you get a couple of people together and be like, oh, did you feel that? Did you feel that? Did you see that? And then start to get the ball rolling.
I think that's also the other thing, right? It's like, is there kind of like a ghost patient zero like a haunted sort of patient zero
Haunted
in these
patient
instances.
zero.
Like, who's the first kid to see the ghost?
Yeah.
So the hostel has since been demolished, but apparently this now houseless ghost,
homeless
still kind of wanders
ghost.
around the area. Homeless ghost.
Oh, can we give it a ghost house?
I don't know where my home is. I did see one or two things suggesting that he might try and prevent car thefts, which seems like a pretty big sort of turnaround.
I love that character development for him.
So sort of a redeemed figure, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I have to do just a reference drop on that one.
Yeah.
There is a book that I got that from, which I don't have with me now, but it's called The Ghost That Shut Down the Town.
Ooh.
Which is a cool book of South African ghost stories.
Awesome.
Written by a guy. So we'll pop that in the show notes maybe.
And thank you for crediting him as a guy.
Was he a ghost or was he a guy?
You may have heard of a guy. Turns out he wrote a book.
Let me do this. Okay. The Ghost That Closed Down the Town. Arthur Goldstuck is the author of that.
Arthur Goldstuck. Oh, I know him. Yes. He's a smart guy.
Do you?
Yeah. He added me on LinkedIn, so I don't really know him so much as, you know.
How's he doing?
I hope he's okay.
Did he give a haunted vibe?
Kinda, yeah. Maybe I need to ask him, oh man, once I start reaching out to my LinkedIn connections and asking if they've seen a ghost,
wow.
Boy, howdy.
We're going to be unstoppable.
It's over for you bitches.
I feel like I also want to ask you vis-a-vis the LinkedIn thing.
Yeah.
Since you don't really spend a lot of time on social media, have you found yourself kind of using LinkedIn, like your social media? Because my sister was talking about how since she like deleted like a lot of her social media, she finds herself spending time on LinkedIn as if it is social media.
Yeah, it's not. It's the worst. It's terrible, and I don't recommend it. I would lean on like LinkedIn and Pinterest, but then I had a gig where I had to write LinkedIn thought leadership posts, and that really like sunk the boat for me on LinkedIn as a fun distraction. So now I just kind of stare at the corner of the wall and hope for the darkness to take me.
So the leadership post sort of had kind of the opposite effect on you. Okay.
Thought leadership was, how do we end it all?
That's the thought. That's the leading thought.
Thought leadership, intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thought leadership. Oh my God. Wait.
Intrusive thought leadership.
I have intrusive thought leadership.
There's something.
something intrusive thought leadership.
We did have another little thing prepared. We thought we'd kind of like road test a little segment here on the show, which is just kind of like about really sort of like shitty, kind of non-threatening monsters throughout history and from around the world. You know, not every monster is going to be like
A home run.
iconic, you know, like not every monster is a home run, you know,
Yeah.
like you've got your, you know, your dragons, your krakens, and these are really intimidating kind of beasts, but you also get some where it's just like, what even...
A bit shit. Yeah.
You know, like, what are you... Where's kind of like the fear element here?
Yeah. What have we got on the menu?
Today I wanted to do sort of a workshop on the abattoir. So this is something that I've never heard of before. It's apparently a Zulu mythology, not one that I've encountered before. Apparently this is a legendary race of tiny hunters. So these are a race of tiny sort of spirit beings that ride on ants, but apparently are prolific hunters.
They ride on ants.
They ride on ants.
They're really little.
They're very, very small.
They're so small.
But
Are they okay?
they seem to be kind of constantly on the move, hunting prey, and apparently they're able to take down prey much larger than them because they have poisonous arrows. So,
Ooh, okay.
yeah, sort of like really having to lean hard on the technology, I guess, if you're that size.
They're riding ants. They're so little.
They're riding ants. It's so cute.
Oh no.
Like, what can it really sort of do?
A monster that you could squish with a thumb.
Yeah, and apparently, well, according to one of the sources that I read, stepping on and killing one of these little creatures was apparently a death threat. But I don't really see how, because if you've stepped on it, is it really a threat anymore?
No. Is it like being stung by a bee and then like that bee dies, but all the other bees know that there's been a sting?
I think it has to be the same logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like bee rules, I guess.
Like, I understand the idea of like, oh, it's small, so they're, you know, they can go through little places and they can maybe do things and hide really well and, you know, move things around your house and stuff. And like kind of, I'm imagining borrower sized as the minimum, I suppose the maximum small size.
The minimum maximum.
That really can move the needle.
Yeah, so to speak.
Once you go riding on an ant, I mean, that makes it smaller than an ant. Like, because, you know, people ride horses and horses are bigger than people.
It's so small.
Are they using one ant on each foot as roller skates?
No.
Now
we're cooking with gas. Yeah, so these little guys apparently have sort of a real kind of major case of short man syndrome. I don't know, people still talking Napoleon syndrome?
Yeah, Napoleon syndrome.
But they are
Microscopic Napoleon syndrome.
extremely sensitive, microscopic Napoleon syndrome. They're extremely sensitive about their size. And so when you're interacting with them, at no point can you kind of like really say anything that implies that they're small.
Yeah.
So apparently, if you encounter one in the wild or when you're out hunting, the best thing that you should do is to say, I saw you, I've seen you before.
Okay.
Just to kind of play it safe, I guess. So
very fragile egos, what I'm hearing.
very fragile ego. So in case they've seen you before and you obviously didn't see them because they're smaller than an ant.
Because they're so little.
You know, and they say, you know, do you remember me? You have to say something like, yeah, I remember you from the mountains over there, or something like that.
Okay. You have to do like the vague party thing.
Really vague?
Yeah. You have to be like, oh my god, yes, I remember you were.
Yeah, how are things?
How are you?
You know,
how's Dave?
how's it
Oh my
going?
god. Oh, it's been
How's
so
Dave?
long. Yeah.
And
you're.
What
are you
you
still
doing?
singing?
Are you still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you really have to kind of like engage like awkward house party mode.
This actually is a very good monster because I am very afraid of that interaction.
Yeah. In fact, actually, this is quite scary. Yeah.
Can I tell you once that I was in a mall and I saw someone that I used to work with and I came up to him and I was like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And I hugged him and I was like, how are you? How's things? And then I was fully like 90 seconds into this, what I thought was pleasant interaction where he kind of like moved away from me for a second and said, yeah, I'm his twin brother.
Oh, wow.
And I've never met you before.
Oh, man.
Anyway, bye.
I have one which is worse
Okay.
than that one. And I plead the fifth on like whether or not I cried after this interaction because of how embarrassed I was.
We won't ask. No worry about it.
I was walking home, I had headphones in, and I saw a guy waving at me from across the street. I was still in denial about needing glasses at this point in my life, so vision wasn't 20/20.
You'd seen enough.
I'd seen enough. I saw someone was waving at me, and I was like, I guess maybe I've seen this guy. He really does seem to know me. So maybe, we've just met out, like, at a party or something.
Yeah.
And he crossed the street, and he came over. And so I kind of, I went in for the hug, like, hey, how are you? How have things been? And he said, he leaned into the hug, gave me the hug, and then he said, hey, what's your name? And then at that point, I realized that I did not know this man.
And that's when you knew you fucked up.
And that's when I knew I'd fucked up. Yeah, so just pretending to know someone can also go really, really horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I think I did cry when I got home because I was so embarrassed.
Does sound like the worst thing. I think from now on, only pull that when the guy is less than 1 millimeter tall.
Yeah.
And then if there's any guy 2 to 3 millimeters and up, we don't know that guy. It's safe to say we don't know that guy.
We don't know the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally physically safe
it
for
is
you
safe
to say
for you to
don't
say
know
that.
guy. The other thing about these guys is that they are apparently only visible to children under the age of 4, wizards, and pregnant women. So your chances of spotting them are probably fairly unlikely.
What a demographic.
What is the fucking SEO for that demographic? I want to...
Active shoppers, pregnant women,
I want to
wizards.
see children under 4.
Children under 4. I love the idea that wizards are also like a
demographic,
but like a more vulnerable group. Pregnant women, like people you would give up your seat for on the bus.
Yeah. Or on the Titanic.
Or on the Titanic.
You know?
I don't know.
Women, wizards, and children first.
Women, wizards, and children first. I don't know where that laugh came from. I've never laughed like that before. There's a little cackle there.
New laugh. Unlocked.
New laugh. What do you think? New laugh just dropped. Yeah, I think my brain is starting to melt. But I feel like we've covered a lot today. We've talked about scary lip ices, people falling down and blaming ghosts.
Are ghosts just bullies?
Are ghosts just bullies? Gran or ghost? Ghost or guy? Why humor a person that you think you might know when you could just squish them with your thumb?
So many questions, not enough answers.
And yeah, if you want to be a part of this podcast, we really want you to ask people that you know or that you have just met or maybe that you are pretending to know, have you ever seen a ghost? And if they say yes, then you hold up your one finger, pull out your phone with your other hand, press record on your voice note app, and record that story, and please send it to us. Oh, we also have an email address now.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes, that will also be in the show notes. So yeah, get in touch.
So I feel like our tally also now
Yes.
of people who we've asked if they've seen a ghost out of the whole world
7 billion, yeah.
is, 5?
Okay, so I've asked like 3. Okay, are we counting the nose? We're counting the nose.
I think we have to count the nose.
I've asked like 6.
So
I've done 6.
I asked, you've done 6. I would say I've got about 4.
Okay, so that's 10 out of 7 billion. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 3 because of last week, so 13.
13. Ooh,
Spooky number.
Okay, great.
But we really need to keep going because there are 7+ billion more people who we need to ask.
Oh my god, we have so much work to do, but hopefully we'll get there. Thank you, Tara, for chatting with me.
Thanks, Stas.
This has been Have You Ever Seen a Ghost?
Have you
ever seen a ghost? We have to work on our outro.
Spooky calypso music.
Spooky calypso music here when Dust figures out how to do that.
Ding, ding, ding,
Ding,
ding,
ding,
ding.
ding. Whoa.